Janelle and is it Jessica are mean girls. But Kira, I feel like you deserved it. Let's talk about it, y'all. What's up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Tammy. This is Tammy Talks. Ready to Love, Season 8, Episode 6, Dates and Doubts. If you have not already subscribed to the channel, if you are a new viewer and enjoy the video, if you are a returning viewer that is not yet subscribed, y'all go ahead and hit that subscribe button, okay? If you enjoyed the video, thumbs it up. Let's talk about everything down below in the comment section. So this episode starts off with the ladies' lounge. So the ladies feel that the guys need to put forward a little more pressure, right? They're talking about inconsistency with the guys, just not really knowing where the guys are, not knowing if they are like in the guy's top or, anything like that. Like there are concerns. The ladies aren't exactly the happiest. So Tommy wants the ladies to go on dates with the guys this week and express their doubts to start to weed out some of the men. Bring up their doubts, see what response you get back from the fellas, and then we can go from there. So the first date we get is Aries and Phil. And I forget that Aries is on the show a lot. We're not seeing Aries like really date around. I feel like she just doesn't get a lot of screen time. But she's on this date with Phil, and they seem to have a really good connection. So they both talk about how they talk a lot on the phone and texting and stuff like that, and the connection is good. But like, let's get in front of each other and make sure that is good. So she's looking for someone that wants to be a father and a husband to her son. So she has two boys. So she is thinking of, finding somebody she's compatible with, but she also has her boys in her mindset as she should. So he said he's open to more kids and they don't necessarily need to be from scratch, meaning that he is all for dating somebody that has kids and then incorporating them into his life, into his family. So Aries has been divorced twice and she's wondering like if that gives him pause. He said no. So I like them together. I think they look good together. Hopefully we see more of them together. Aries is never really in the bottom, but she's never in anybody's top. So she should be a little concerned about that. So Sierra and Christopher, who is happy to be on this journey. We truly don't see Christopher, y'all. Them ladies do not like Christopher. We don't see Christopher at all. I think this is Christopher's first date in like 2 or 3 episodes. But he's out with Sierra. And Sierra's asking him about insecurities. Christopher said he don't have any. Okay? He is very confident in the person that he is. He's very confident in his abilities and he does not doubt himself. So I think that's a red flag. I personally think that's a red flag because there's a difference between confidence and cockiness, and Christopher definitely comes across as cocky. So he tells her that he went to school for 2 years. He worked in fashion. What type was it, medical school or something like that? He worked in fashion. He's been to NY Fashion Week, and he starts like reading his resume, which is something we've seen him do before, right? So she lets him know that Birkin bags and Chanel are her things. Y'all know Sierra works in fashion. So he asks her if he's having a bad year and cannot buy her a Birkin bag, will she look at him differently? Now, Sierra took that as he was trying to make her feel bad, and she thinks that's an insecurity. There are two components to this conversation. For one, Sierra, you cannot expect a man that you just met to not feel a way if during your conversation you bring up how Birkin bags are like your love language and all this other kind of stuff. It did come across as you telling Christopher that when y'all are married, you are expecting a Birkin bag from him. That's how it comes across. We know that Birkins are extremely expensive. Extremely. So there's that. Um But then at the same time, Christopher, she wasn't asking for one today. You know what I mean? So I feel like the conversation, the Birkenback conversation, just shouldn't have happened. But Sierra looks at that as an insecurity of him not being able to provide, to provide for her. And it might be, but I don't think it's a situation not being able to provide for her is he might not be able to or want to be able to afford that type of lifestyle. So that conversation really should have just got a little deeper instead of you feeling like it's an insecurity that he can't afford it and him feeling as if you're asking him for a bag and if he can't get it, then you're going to ask somebody else to go get it. It was just a misplaced conversation. So then we get Jessica. So Jessica pops up on Chris at work, brings him some lunch, and Chris is telling her, I like the fact that you're strong and you're powerful and very assertive, but I need you to be softer with me. Don't talk to me the way you talk to everybody else in the world because I'm going to be softer with you as well. She seemed apprehensive about that. Jessica seems like she just does not know how to let her guard down and like be completely vulnerable, right? Could have been from some hurt in the past, or that could just be her personality. So she tells him that he is not the most consistent, and he throws it back and is like, have you been calling me? Christopher said he's been, this is Chris. Chris said that he's been busy. And she's like, people make time for what they want to. And I stand on that 1,000%. People make time for who they want to. People make time for what they want to do. So whenever people say that they've just been too busy to hang out with you, call you, text you, whatever, they just don't have the time, that is a lie. People make the time for who it is and what it is. And that was just what Jessica was trying to remind him of. He said he's going to do better. She said she is going to do better. And we'll see how it goes. I think Jessica has like been liking Chris for a while. We don't see Jessica connect or talk to anybody else. So you might want to soften up, sis, if you want to find somebody on the show, because Chris is like really your only connection. Marvin and Katerina. So they're out at a coffee shop and he's talking about, I think, Comic Con or like some type of convention where him and his friends dress up like the Power Rangers every year. He's going to be the White Ranger. She says she's going to be... Every girl wanted to be the pink one, who was Kimberly. We didn't really see it for Trini, the yellow one. Was it Trina? We didn't see it for her, but I think every girl wanted to be the pink Power Ranger. I definitely was the Pink Ranger growing up. So they're talking and she asked Marvin the same question that all these ladies have been. Can you function in a monogamous relationship? He always looks like confused by that. And I don't understand why he is confused by that question. He says yes because he grew up watching one. That is bullshit, right? That is bullshit. I grew up in a family where my parents are still married, right? 45 years in 2 weeks, okay? My parents are still married. That is the family unit that me and my brother grew up in. I have friends that have grown up in similar situations as me, and they have still gone out and cheated and been divorced and all that other type of stuff. So you can't say I can do this because that's what I grew up watching. That doesn't make sense. He then said that, well, she said she's concerned about him being bored. He said that he's never going to get bored because he's going to have her and that's what he's into. See, Marvin keeps saying that he can be in a monogamous relationship when the ladies bring it up, but then he also talks about all his kinks. And him having his kinks and being into BDSM and all that other type of stuff, that's fine. That is fine. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But I think Marvin has to also Stop acting as if it's something that he can turn off. It's clearly not, because that's what you lead with all the time. It would be different if it was like something that they were talking about and then he kind of brought it up. It's like, yeah, sometimes I like to, do whips and chains, whatever, kind of like that. Like, this has been your persona. So, of course, the ladies are going to have pause to that because none of these ladies seem to be into that. So Marvin just says whatever he thinks those ladies want to hear, and we see that time and time again on every date. I do think that Marvin will get bored with that. I think that the only monogamous relationship that Marvin would be able to be in is if he got into a monogamous relationship with a woman that was into the same type of sexual activities that he was in or that he is into. Otherwise, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. Kira and Herbert. Why didn't take that dog's toy off the wrapper? That damn dog was trying to play with that toy. It was still on the cardboard. Take it off. Let him play with it. So why did he bring that little toy in that big bag? Lord. So she cooked dinner for Herbert at her house. Herbert tells him that she is in his top 3. Top 3 what? We ain't seen you talk about Kira. We ain't seen you look at Kira, but she's in your top 3. Okay, Herbert. She says she likes a man that pursues her and tells him to step his game up. If he's not pursuing you, Kira, he don't want you. Very, very cut and dry. Herbert keeps saying that it's challenging for him to date multiple women at one time. Well, why did you sign up for this, Herbert? Why did you sign up for this? Why didn't you go on like Married at First Sight or something? If it is difficult for you to find the time to date multiple women at one time, why did you sign up for a show where you date multiple women at one time? Don't say that no more, Herbert, because that sounds stupid. So she wants to make like a little TikTok dance. They do a little TikTok video. I said, okay. Herbert was a good sport. He participated. So, cool. We get Janelle and Quentin. This is their first date. What episode are we on? I guess I'm confused how these... I get... No, I don't. Janelle, you've been saying that Quentin is in your top. How have y'all not had a solo date already? How is he in your top if y'all ain't spent no time alone? Am I the only one that's like confused by that? But they're out on this date. She asks him about the age difference, how he feels about it. He's cool. He said he doesn't think about it. She then talks about in terms of having a family. He asks how she is, about adoption. She says she's very passionate about it because she herself is adopted. He asks were her adoptive parents black or white. She was like, what? Black. I didn't mind the question because, you don't know if you don't know. But he also said he doesn't think marriage and kids take a long time. He wants somebody that's going to be his best friend. So they have a cool little chat. He makes her blush. He makes her blush. He makes her smile. And I think that's what she likes the most about him. She seemed very comfortable with him. I think Quentin's very handsome, especially with them glasses on. So they might could work because I don't see it working with her and Herbert. Because Janelle seems like an alpha female, and I don't know if that would really work with Herbert. I just don't see that working with Herbert. Maria and Kira, they're out on a little ice cream date. She wants to talk about him bringing up her comfortability in Black culture and in Black spaces, right? He explained that his everyday lifestyle is rooted in Black culture. That's who he is. He said in the Gentleman's Lounge, he does a lot in the community. He's very engrossed and he embraces, he, immerses himself into Black culture. She said, well, I have a Black dad and 2 Black brothers, and I just feel prejudged. I have a Black dad and a Black brother too, Kira. You know why? Because I'm Black, the same way you are. Kira gives the I have three black friends vibe. That's what she gives, and that's why. Or I have a black coworker, they're my favorite in the office. That's the vibe that Kira gives, right? So he told her that he didn't mean any harm by asking her about the black culture. Maria, yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. It was a slight to her, a valid one, but it was a slight to her. She felt it was a slap in the face. He feels that her thinking it's a slap in the face is a slap in the face. Y'all ain't gonna work. Let's just go our separate ways. Let's go our separate ways. Lee and Marvin. Lee is boring, okay? Every date that we watch with Lee, she says like a very short sentence and then she just sits there and stares at the man, expecting them to carry the conversation. Lee, it might be time for you to go. You might be the problem and the reason that your dates aren't as fun as you want them to be. Remember, Lee told, was it Red, that she wants a guy that's fun and all that other type of stuff, but we don't see nothing fun about Lee. Maybe they need to stop taking her to dinner. Take her out to do something. Maybe she needs like an activity to loosen her up. But they're talking, and he feels that he hasn't seen any effort on her part. And if she wants to be pursued, like she kind of has to do something to let the guys know that she wants to be. He said he loves to laugh and do impressions from different movies. She said, well, what's your favorite movie? He said Jurassic Park. Wow, good movie. I like Jurassic Park too. I was with her with you do impressions from the movie. What impressions are you doing from the movie? And he was like, not the dinosaurs. And I still would have been like, so what are you mimicking from the movie? You know what I mean? Like, if we're talking the original Jurassic Park, what are you mimicking from the movie? Marvin is weird, and that's okay. That's okay. I put down that Lee is bad at dating. I think she is. I just think she is. She's not giving us enough on screen. She said that his lifestyle does not align with her. He said he's willing to compromise with that, but she says that she does not want him to push down his true desires. Y'all are compatible. Let's move on. I don't even know why y'all are even back on this date, because when y'all were at the hoedown, Lee, you told this man that he scares you when his sexual whatever is something you are completely not into. So why are y'all even back out on a date? Lee gonna be sent home next because Lee don't have any connections from what we can see. None. We get to the ladies' lounge, okay? So they're talking about the guys. They go through all the guys that they like. We get to the guys that they don't. Sierra brings up Christopher. They feel that Christopher talks about everything he does and he's selling himself, which I can see that. We're not getting a lot about Christopher. We haven't found out, like, does he want marriage? Does he want kids? We haven't really found that out, but we know everything that Christopher has done. Gone to medical school and fashion week, and he owns a security business and all this other type of stuff. They then made a comment that, he is 34, not married with no kids. I don't buy into that either. And the reason I don't is my brother got married at 37 and he didn't have kids either. You know what I mean? And he's now been with his wife for 4 years. So I kind of feel like everybody's journey is a little different. I think we got to get past the whole, is something wrong with somebody if they haven't been married by a certain age with no kids, especially just in your 30s. Like 34 to me, it's not a red flag that you're not married and you don't have kids. To me, at least, that's not a red flag. So they talk about Marvin and his sexcapades. None of the ladies are into that. Valid. We then get to Marie. They all feel like homie vibes from him for the most part. Kira says that Marie is not consistent. He don't like you because you don't like being black. So Jessica said that Marie is very consistent with her. And this is what kind of bothers me about Janelle and Jessica. When it is, they feel that they can say whatever it is about everybody else's guy, right? They can point out what they don't like about this guy, what they don't like about that guy. But when somebody points out something that they don't like about one of the guys that they like, they go into attack mode, and it's just not necessary. So Jessica is like, well, Maurier is very consistent with me. That's fine, Jessica. He might be consistent with you, but he's not consistent with Kira. Two things can be true at the same time. Two things can be true. Jessica and Janelle are just mean girls. I don't know if, like I said with Janelle, I think that Janelle is just, it's like an insecurity for her. She's insecure about something, and I think Jessica just gives mean girl vibes just overall. So Kira said that Janelle is snarky with her. Janelle said that Kira perpetuates Quentin. She perpetuated Quentin liking white women while saying that she's the closest thing to being white there. That line really shot you in the foot, Kira. You saying that I can say that because I'm the closest thing to white here. I was with Janelle. That's not a flex, sis. That's not a flex. It's not the flex that you think it is by any means or any stretch of the imagination. But I also feel like Janelle, what was the point of this? You know what I mean? What was the point of this? Jessica said that Kira has made a point to say that some things are too black for her. Kira didn't deny that. Kira did not deny that. So I feel like Kira might be one of those people that is black, but she is black, but I don't think she has a problem with her blackness per se. I don't think she has a problem being black, but was she raised around white people? She does not feel comfortable in black scenarios and black settings, which is interesting that she would come onto a show like this where it's all black people that seem to be very, super, super black. So Janelle goes on this tirade. I don't like you. I won't be talking to you. Who cares? Y'all don't have to converse with each other. I don't like Kira, but I just feel ultimately that Janelle does way too much. This is the second person you done got into it with, Janelle. While Tequila was indeed an issue, and Kira is indeed an issue, you're inserting yourself into arguments by being messy at the same time. All it's gonna take is one good time for somebody to check the shit out of Janelle, and she's gonna learn. Quit backing down from her. Quit backing down from her. See, Kira's not the right one to go up against her. But y'all see, Janelle's not trying shit like that with anybody else. She's picking on the weaker people, Tequila and Kira. You ain't seen Janelle talk crazy. Well, it happened off screen. I was gonna say Katarina, but you haven't seen Janelle talk crazy to Lee. Janelle's not talking crazy to Sierra. She knows who to try that with. That's what that's about. So Tommy tells them that they're gonna send home 2 guys. Pick 3 to take out, 2 are going home. Katarina takes out Marvin, okay? Lets Marvin know that the ladies can't get with your sexual lifestyle. He says that it's easy to reject what's different instead of learning about it, which is true. But at the same time, this is not like saying I don't like seafood. This is not like saying I don't like mushrooms. I don't want to try mushrooms. This is about being a dominant in the bedroom. They just don't want to do it. They don't have to learn about it. If somebody knows for off rip, I'm not into BDSM, I don't need to research it and learn about it. What I know about it is enough for me to say I'm not interested. So it's like something in that capacity. But then he also goes on to say that he does not customize himself to fit a woman. He finds a woman that is going to just be the right woman for him. And that's valid, and that woman is not here, so you are not ready to love. Okay? So then we get Kira and Christopher. She tells him that her doubt is that he isn't who he says he is. And he always does this. Would you think I'm a player? Why do you always say that? Literally, nobody has said that. That is like the second time Christopher has said that. Would y'all think I'm a player? No. No, we don't. We don't. No one said that. So she then goes on to tell him that the ladies feel that he is just selling himself. He gets activated. Well, I have to sell myself because That's how you get to know me. Yeah, but you also get to know people through conversation. You also get to know people through activities. You can tell a lot about a person by sitting down with them and really watching a TV show, because you pick up what you notice, what they pick up on the show. You see how it leads to other conversations. You spitting out that you did Fashion Week and that you did all this other kind of stuff, that's not getting to know you. That you telling people what you want them to know. There's a difference. So Kira tells him that, some of the ladies feel that you also aren't very receptive. You're not conversing. He was like, well, Lee didn't text me back. I said, ooh, Christopher is sassy. Oh my God. So he gets way too defensive. They send him home. Bye, Christopher. Bye, Christopher. I didn't even listen to his little ending final words because, whoa. Christopher was, ooh, he's sassy. So then we finally get Marie and Lee. Lee lets him know that the ladies are getting homie vibes. He was like, I don't want to get friend zone. She said, no, you're not friend zone, but you're just giving homie vibes, right? So she then was like, somebody brought up, the questioning of black culture. He was like, okay, Kira, okay, I get that. So Marie gets to stay, and he now feels that he just has to step it up. I got to do more. I thought I was doing enough, but I'm not. I got to do more to try to get the ladies on my side. And that was how the episode ended. So let me know what you guys thought about the episode. What do you think about Christopher and Marvin going home? How y'all feel about Janelle and Jessica? Mean girls, right? Let's talk about it down below. Catch y'all in the next one. Bye.